So we're here for the barbecue basics and savory sides, as I called it. And we're not going to do any real barbecuing today, but I thought we could do some sides, and I can talk to you about barbecuing in general. I was a cook for about 10 years before I started working at the library, so not a full-time chef. I'm not Gordon Ramsay by any means, but I can help you out 9 times out of 10. So we're gonna do today a street corn salad and an orzo salad. Both are super simple, and we were talking a little bit before that there's numerous different ways that you could switch it up to your own liking. Everyone has different tastes, so it's no big deal. And so I gave you just a little sheet with some kind of basics and fun facts or whatever you want to call it on there, and then these are just the recipe cards, so if you wanted to make them later, you could. So starting with just barbecue safety in general, I mean, a lot of this is common sense, but some things you might not be as familiar with, or, it's been a while, I tend to forget even. Food temperatures is a big thing with cooking in general. So does anyone know off the top of their head the internal temperatures to make food safe to eat?
140? That's what we used to. 160s, 165. Well, we
Yeah.
used to have to keep it at 140.
Right, for holding.
The whole
Yeah. So everything's a little bit different. Chicken is usually 165. That's for like chicken breast. If you're cooking like chicken thighs, I tend to go a little higher so that all the fats can really kind of liquefy and be tasty. Ground beef, I think any ground meat is 160, so a cheeseburger, 160. And that should be probably medium well, honestly. But that's what the FDA says, so you can, if you like yours medium rare, that's on you, but I did not recommend it. And then pork, they just changed the temperature to 145. That's still probably going to be pretty rare for most people. I don't like my pork chops to have pink in them, but if you do, all the power to you. You can get, they have digital thermometers now that you just stick. I'm sure most of you guys have them or have seen them. Stick them in. They're very, very good. Every once in a while, you'll have to recalibrate it with some ice water. But for the most part, they're pretty dead on the money. Other thing I had here, any questions about food temps?
How do you calibrate it with ice?
So you stick it in the ice water, you let it sit for a little while, and then it has to hit 30 something degrees. It'll say, yeah.
I hadn't heard of that before.
Yeah, and then if you have it in ice water for a while and it's 40 degrees, you want to crank it down. Because then it'll give you an incorrect temperature.
How about stick it in the freezer?
Could, I guess, if you know the temp of your freezer. Yeah.
Well, it's probably around 0.
It's probably, yeah.
So you
Yeah.
leave it in for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. As long as it doesn't fry the, electronics, but yeah. I guess, yeah, every once in a while you want to check it. I guess on the other side, for food safe, for keeping things cool, you don't really want to leave anything out of the refrigerator for over 3 hours, really, is the time. Especially, I think I told you guys last time that even rotisserie chickens, if you're going to use the rotisserie chicken from the store, say it's 8 o'clock at night and there's a time stamp on there for 4, do not take that chicken home, please. You're hitting the danger zone there when bacteria starts to grow. And if it's not being kept at the proper temperature, it's a no-go.
But if you're going to recook that in a Creole or something,
yeah, you want to
boil, that would be okay,
come to a
right?
boil, reheat it to a certain temperature. It'll kill it. Yeah, it's not really recommended, but something like that, you're probably okay.
Those heat lamps get pretty hot.
They do. Yeah, they're usually pretty good. I had a boss who would ask the clerk at the counter, to temp it before she took it home. Some people go really crazy. I've never had a problem with rotisserie chicken, but.
And sometimes when you pick them up, they must have heat on the bottom.
Yeah,
because
probably.
You can't even touch them.
I know, they're really hot. Yeah. So I think most places are really good about that. So then some safety with cleaning your grill. This was kind of blew up in the news a couple of years ago, maybe, about the wire brushes. Don't use them because allegedly the little wires, they break off, they get stuck in your system. It's probably very much not good for you.
It's true, because I know someone that's an anesthesiologist,
Oh.
and they had to
Yep.
work on somebody
Yep.
it happened to. So.
Yeah. So there's nylon brushes now that do the same thing, or there's steel. Even better, there's steel scrapers. It's basically like a knife or a bench scraper that's just for your grill. Yeah. And then anytime some people like to oil their grill before they use it. You can use tongs and an old towel to do that, so you're not getting your fingers on fire. And then last thing I had here is grease fires. Anyone know what not to do with a grease fire? Don't put water on it, yes. Because oil and water don't mix. The oil's going to sit on top and just keep on burning. So you have a couple options, one being fire extinguisher, obviously. Or what we used to have to do sometimes is you turn off the burners. You can turn off the propane as well. Well, maybe not actually, because you might catch your head on fire. But yes. Basically, you just don't want to put water on it. Turn off the burners, and then you could put baking soda or salt on it to extinguish it. Don't put flour, because flour is flammable. Close the lids and vents, and you should be okay. So. Right, you're not supposed to eat raw flour. Yeah. Yep. So any questions about barbecue safety or other topics that we could?
One more. Don't put your barbecue too close to your house.
Yeah, too close to your house. Yes. Melt the vinyl off of your house.
And
Yeah.
set your house on fire.
Yes. Actually, that happened to my parents' neighbor just recently, and now she has a nice triangle of melted vinyl up the side of their house. So. Yes. Yeah. All right, barbecue efficiency. Again, this is all probably self-explanatory, and you guys already do this. But just to go over it, a lot of barbecue sides are fine to prepare the day before. And 9 times out of 10, they'll be better the next day anyway. And you could even start some of it before, like the day before, and finish it as you're grilling, that kind of thing. Like mixing up your sides, if you're confident to do it. But another efficiency thing I like to do, I personally like flat top grills for various reasons. One being cleaning. They're a lot easier to clean. And I find them easier to cook on because you have a nice flat surface and you kind of know where the heat spots are.
I don't know what that is. Is that just, it doesn't have the
There's no grates. Yeah, it looks kind of like a sheet pan like this.
Oh, okay.
It's just a sheet of of iron, steel.
Like
Blackstones, yeah. I like those a lot. I like them personally too because I think that you get a better sear on steaks and vegetables. And
how does that work? Does that go on your barbecue grill?
you can, yeah, you can put them, yep, you can buy a flat top for it. They like Blackstone makes one, and they didn't pay me to say this, but the element just goes underneath it, and it just heats it up evenly.
So the element then, that's electric?
There's electric ones, and there's propane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, either way.
Except on a regular cooktop.
Right.
Not on my grill.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep. Yeah, they make them, I'm sure you know, for your regular range stove too. Our apartment or townhouse complex just banned grills, so I had to get a couple of those. Kind of unfortunate, but another thing is temperature zones. Kind of knowing, that's unfortunate. Knowing where your grill's hot spots are, right? And also knowing the temperature ranges. So often, right on top of the grill is the hottest spot, but if you have something that needs to cook at a lower temperature, you can put it at the the top part of the grill, the little shelf. Yeah. Like I said, you guys probably already know all this stuff. And then we have what the French call mise en place. So That's just a fancy French word for everything has its place, basically. You can kind of see like I have here, it's better to have everything out and ready as you're cooking instead of running around the kitchen like a chicken with its head cut off trying to find all your ingredients at the last second. I still do that. I'm not going to say I never do it, but all right. And we'll just move on to mains, the big things about barbecue. So you have the classics, burgers and dogs. I try to switch things up or make them interesting in some way if you're trying to impress people. If you're not, just throw them on there. It's no big deal. But I've been really into smash burgers lately, which you can only do on a flat surface. If you have the grates, you can't do it because it's going to just Play-Doh into the grill. But what I do is I make basically meatballs with no seasoning, and then I shred up white onion really, really fine. You put it on the flat top, the onion's on top, and then you just take your spatula and smash it down really thin. It's really good, really tasty. And it gets like lacy around the edges. It's really good. I prefer it. I like it that way.
I did the salmon burger this week.
Really? Yeah. Nope. It's good.
How flat do you smash it?
It's all up to you. So, some people like it really thin, like McDonald's thin. That's how you get the good sear like crust on it all the way across. My dad likes the like meatloaf burgers that are like 3 inches tall. Yeah. Actually, another kind of efficiency kind of pro tip here that I just learned: if you season your burgers before you put them on the grill, they're going to be tougher. So if you salt your mixture before you make the patties, you could throw it at a wall after you cook it and it's not going to break apart. Yeah. So what I do is I put them on the grill and I salt and pepper, maybe a little garlic powder if you're feeling crazy, before as it's sitting there, and then flip and do the same thing. It must do something to the proteins.
I think it pulls the water out.
Pulls the water? Yeah. That makes sense. Another tip I had here, for those of us who don't feel like buying a smoker to use it once a year like my dad, you could get a wood chip box for your grill. It's just about this big. You fill it with the soaked wood chips, you stick it in the grill underneath the grates, and that will generate the smoke to season your food. Do it with basically anything, chicken, fish, ribs, and it's just a nice way to, it might not be as smoky as a smoker, but it's enough to, be evocative of it. So another thing for if you're trying to finish your cooking all at the same time, I recommend trying to make everything the same size. So if you're cooking like hot dogs or cheeseburgers and chicken at the same time, the chicken, if you're just cooking a whole chicken breast, is going to take forever. I recommend flattening it out. You can fillet it in half, or I found a neat way to do it recently where you kind of just plop it on a cutting board with like the ugly side facing up, and you put your knife in the middle and you kind of just wiggle it to the right and then to the left, and it's like perfectly flat every time. It kind of blew my mind when I first did it, to be honest with you. And then kind of in the same note, marinating the chicken the night before will elevate it like 100 times, and there's like 100 different ways you could do it. I usually do like a kind of Mexican chicken, like tomato paste, garlic, lime, onion. I think that works really well, but you could do whatever you want. You could do Italian seasoning, Italian dressing. Unless you have 24 hours of free time, I don't recommend making ribs from scratch. It's kind of a labor of love, but it's up to you. Depends on your timing, and there's a lot of tips for that too. I won't get into those, but and then I think last one I had was just getting creative with your veggies, making skewers or different things like that. If you are going to do skewers, make sure you soak them in water overnight so they don't burn up. And the skewers themselves, I soak them. They won't burn up as quickly. Yeah. What's or metal? Yeah, or metal. Yep. Yep. Oh, good. That's good. Um, another kind of so going into the sides here. One note I have is that I feel like a lot of barbecue sides or party sides, it's like mayo central, and they can be pretty heavy, especially when you start adding sour cream to the mix. So sometimes what I've started to do is I'll use whole fat Greek yogurt, just plain, instead of sour cream. And 9 times out of 10, people can't tell the difference that it isn't sour cream. And you feel healthier when you eat it. So I just kind of listed some sides here that you could keep handy. Cucumber avocado salad is kind of a classic. I'll add like salmon or tuna to it and make almost like a sushi kind of thing. I don't, but I could send you some. I got plenty. Yeah.
What do you use for dressing to moisten it?
Dressing, you could use like a soy and sesame oil kind of thing, or I use a lot of gochujang. It's like a Korean chili, and then just like soy sauce.
Or about some bottled, you like bottled dressings at all? Like cans?
Oh yeah, I don't use them often, but
Sesame ginger.
yeah, I know like yeah. The Hannaford brand has some good dressings too that you could use.
And
Fresh rosemary.
Yeah.
At home, so.
Yep.
Ken came out with a roasted sesame. That's not
Ooh.
bad, but it helps to add a little bit of sesame oil and to have some of your own sesame just
Yeah.
to make it a little stronger.
Yeah. Yep.
I've been using it as a marinade and everything.
Yeah, that's good.
Ken's has a roasted sesame dressing.
Yeah.
It does need a little boost,
Yep.
but a little bit of
Yep.
of one of those two things are.
What did you say? Add sesame oil.
I taste that. Sure, I do. I toast some sesame seeds, and then I just add a little bit of sesame oil and shake it up, and it just gives it a little bit more flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than starting from scratch.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
even good
Exactly.
on pasta, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry.
Yeah. No.
You need shortcuts sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Yep. So orzo salad, we're doing one today. This one is. I always say sometimes when I say it to people, it sounds so strange, but I swear, like every time I make it, people love it. And it has watermelon, feta, basil, and then just olive oil, salt, and pepper. And it's really good, really fresh. And I think I said it before, it doesn't feel like you're eating pasta. It kind of tricks your brain. But there's other options. We were talking about like a sun-dried tomato one or a pesto, things like that. You get to be creative. I have age-old classic, a Greek pasta salad. The other one I have. So the other thing we're doing today is the street corn salad, and this is one of my new favorite things. And there's 3 different ways you could do it. Well, I'm sure there's more, but how we're going to do it today is as a sort of like a side salad. The traditional way to do it is it's just roasted on the cob, and they slather everything on it and sprinkle the cheese and all the seasoning on there. You could do it that way, or you could make it a dip. You basically do the same thing as the salad here. You just add a ton more cheese, and bake it, and it's really good. Loaded potato salad. I talked a little bit about that before. It's just a normal potato salad with everything you'd put on a loaded baked potato. And I said it that I used to make this at my old job, and it's like 2,000 calories a bite, but it's really good. Broccoli salad, that's one I used to make a lot. It has, I think I did it with raisins and bacon, and then it's sort of like a coleslaw dressing. That one's really good. And then some marinated tomatoes, herbs, if you have them in the garden, with balsamic and mozzarella. Grilled zucchini or eggplant with like a whipped ricotta on top. That's really good. This was always a classic in our house, is strawberry spinach salad with balsamic, or like a balsamic and sesame kind of dressing. I forget the brand, but there is one that's It's good. I started making chickpea salad bruschetta. It's basically like a vegetarian version of tuna or chicken salad, but it's nice and light, and then you can put some dill on top, and it's really good. I've seen a lot in magazines lately of like whipped mozzarella or whipped feta, and then you put like roasted cherry tomatoes around or pesto. You just dip with bread. So
Any particular kind of mozzarella that you should be looking for to whip?
you could use burrata,
Okay.
that has more moisture inside.
Okay.
But I would recommend, probably stay away from like the low fat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You
need some.
Because they're drier.
It's sometimes they're drier, and there's less moisture in it, and it's just more like a string cheese than an actual mozzarella.
You said burrata?
Burrata. Burrata, I think it is, and it's basically mozzarella with more milk fat sort of in it. So you cut it open and it's kind of like loose. It does, yeah. And it's kind of bizarre if you've never seen it before.
So
Yeah.
when you're whipping the mozzarella, would you use fresh mozzarella then for that?
Mm-hmm.
Not the stuff.
Not
that's on the
shredded,
brick.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Or
mean
the bread,
shredded.
yeah.
Not the ones that's prepackaged.
Yeah, I mean, I've used the balls of it. You could
that's
try
fresh.
it with, if there's a higher moisture content in it, you might be okay.
Yeah, those usually come in water or
Yeah.
packaged. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Anyone have any other good sides that they want to share?
I just did a lentil salad.
Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah. Did you do like carrots in it?
And tomatoes and I'm trying to think of it. And then I had it own dressing. It was really good.
That sounds good. Yeah.
And thinly sliced roasted Brussels sprouts.
Ooh, that's always good. Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
All right. So I think I kind of mentioned this before that both of these salads, they're fine to eat. Like the street corn you could eat warm or you could chill it. Orzo salad is going to be a cold salad. Both of them are like 100 times better if they sit in the fridge for a little while. But we don't have that kind of time today, so we're going to eat them straight. All right, yeah. Sounds good to me. I love doing this. I've done this a couple different ways here, and let me just move down a little bit. You know, there's. No, you're okay. You're okay. There's a bunch of different ways to cook corn, and I don't have, like I said before, I don't have the grill at home anymore, so I can't just roast these on a grill. So what I started doing was I just cut it right off the cob, and I kind of dry roast it in a pan. It gets a little bit messy, as you'll see, but
When you did it on the grill, did you do it in the husk, I take it?
I've seen people do it in the husk.
I soak it
Yeah,
an hour
yep,
in the husk, put the whole thing on,
yep,
and it comes out almost steamed.
right. So,
I said, I'm coming to your house.
Oh,
yeah.
I've done quite a bit of
If you
cooking,
cut one end, you could squeeze it out the other.
10, 12.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As long, yeah. So I like this one to have the corn have a little bit of color on it. So I would cook it in the husk and then take it out and then get some grill marks on it. Get that grill
You can do that.
get that grill
Not
nice and
long,
hot. Yeah, not long, but so like I said, this is gonna be messy. So
Bigger cutting board.
I do.
You
Just
haven't
like
tried
all
it.
of that.
I haven't
Put it in
tried
the
it.
pan.
Oh, hey, you know
A
what?
cutting board in the pan.
Now we're thinking. Yeah. This-
Have you ever tried, I haven't tried it yet, in the air fryer?
I haven't, no.
I haven't tried it yet, but
You make a
maybe
whole corn.
Or the whole corn on the cob, maybe,
Look how easy that comes off. I'm always afraid to do that. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah. Sharp knife.
Very sharp.
I usually do the safety thing before, but I think most people have probably heard it. But
That is easy.
but you always want to make sure you have your I call it the bear
The
claw.
claw.
Yeah, the claw, and that way you're kind of moving your knife down your knuckles instead of through them. So that's always good. And this, like with corn, it's nice because you have a nice flat surface at the bottom there, so it's not too crazy to just buzzed down. Yeah.
It looks nice and, fairly nice and fresh too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I am presenting this. I did not buy these materials, so if the corn isn't sweet, I won't take responsibility for that.
Where we used to live, we used to go right to the stand and they would have just brought it into the field. It was
Wow.
nice and warm.
Yeah.
I don't know where to do that up here.
La Valley or I just sharpened it this morning. Yeah.
The person always thinks like,
That's-
"Hey, you go get the corn, they just picked it."
That's the other really important thing is we used to say in the kitchen a safe knife is a sharp knife because it's true. You're more likely to cut yourself on a dull knife. All right, that's going to be about that. I just cranked up the heat on the skillet there to like medium high, and
What skillet do you use?
that's I use this a lot. It's a high walled. I don't know the brand, but
And then is it like carbon steel? Is it?
it's not carbon steel. No, so you could do this on any kind of pan really. That one's just I'm not sure what it is. Yeah.
Aluminum.
Yeah, with some sort of
Calathon or something like that.
yeah.
Okay. Because I
Yep.
just bought an induction burner, so now I have
Oh yeah.
2 new pans.
Oh yeah. All right. So I'm waiting till that's nice and hot, and then I'm just gonna dump it all in. I do this dry. That's so if you're gonna use canned corn, first of all, I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, it's too much moisture. And this I'm just gonna break up a little bit and dump it right into a hot dry pan. And we're gonna get some color on it. And we can just let this sit.
Do you use any oil or anything?
This is completely dry right now. So we're gonna let it sit in here and hang out. Just get it kind of flattened out there. And you can forget about that for a minute or two. And we're going to start prepping some of our other things here. So like the multitasking I was talking about, we can do some chopping. I'm gonna do probably a quarter chopping. Chopping. So, does anyone have the weird cilantro? Well, I shouldn't say weird, sorry. The cilantro thing. Do you? Yeah.
Last time I came, we made.
Really?
I was okay with it.
Okay.
But I think I even shoved it all in.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not a big cream everything.
I won't put much in, so. Cilantro is one of those herbs that you have to wash a lot. It's a little gritty.
Yeah, it's actually the sand or soil.
Yeah, usually, yep. Oh, yeah.
You cut them in half and wash them, they're better. 'Cause
Yep.
they're so tight. It took me years to figure that one out. Though.
Mm-hmm.
You get these nutrients from the soil, you know?
Yeah, sure.
You know, we used to do this as kids. I don't
A
know.
little
I
fiber.
like your scallop.
A little.
I love the scallop.
remember the red place that you eat as a kid. I know, I ate a lot.
I'm not telling you what would happen.
So I'm just gonna do some onion here for color mostly. This is gonna be hard to cut at a tall table.
I like the flow up place.
Do ya?
I
Yeah.
do, yeah. The tables are like, they feel like too low. Leaning over.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
You're not touching it, you're just like.
I'm just letting that sit over there. Yeah. And you want a little color on her. Yeah, it's mostly flat. I'll show you here. I just had it kind of sitting like that. And so the bottom's going to get some color. It'll kind of steam up through. And at this point, we got a little bit of color. So you can, well, not quite, but you can see it's starting to go a little bit. So you can see, yeah, it's starting to steam a little bit. And what else do we need for this? We need, I forgot my lime zester, so that's too bad. I like, in this, I like doing some of the zest and the juice of a lime. And I'm gonna get rid of this. We started a compost, so those can go in there.
What restaurant did you work before the library?
I was like a supervisor at a nursing home kitchen in Hingham, Massachusetts. It's down kind of South Shore. Yeah, yep. So I did some time there.
All 10 years?
All 10 there, yeah. I went through high school, college, and then some after.
Did you go to college for?
I went to college for English.
Oh.
And then
Not culinary.
no, I just learned to cook for my dad and watching Food Network.
I think a lot of us.
And,
have learned that from there.
and work, obviously. So yeah, I kind of had to decide if I wanted to continue on cooking and go on Top Chef or something, or if I wanted to work in a library or a school.
So you're actually using your degree.
I'm using, yeah. We're popping over there. All right. Yeah, I can smell it. It's starting to pick up there. So the reason let's get this going too. The reason I dry roast this, I'm trying to mimic the barbecue, obviously, but I didn't put oil in it because I like to use butter for this. And if I put the butter in too soon, it's going to burn. So, and it's still going here. It's picking up a little color. All right, and I'm going to just start cleaning up a little bit as I go. All right, so we're at the point now. You can see it's picking up a little more color. I like it a little bit more,
Okay.
but it's up to you. And we're using electric today, but and this pan was probably too small. But
Have you ever done like right on the grates or no? Like if you have that.
you can, yeah, you can do that. I've seen people do that. Yep.
With like, I just don't want my stove.
Yeah.
The blotto peppers I do.
Oh, yep. The steaming the peppers and stuff. So, ooh, yeah, it's so good.
Also like these guada something or other.
Guadalajara, yeah.
This made, I don't know what I thought it was making, but I thought it made like an individual, like enough for like our family.
So I don't see butter, I'm sorry Kathy, I don't see butter on the list.
Nobody described.
Street corn?
Yeah, I must have missed it on the ingredient list.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry for that.
And this is only if you're doing it in a pan, too. So I just added a knob of butter in there, and people who have been here before know that I measure with my heart. And that's the only way I can do it. So that was probably a tablespoon of butter. Well, I'll tell you right now.
A little bit more.
Probably 2. And then as that's melting, we wanted to add it in at the end so that the butter doesn't burn. I'm adding, well, I have cayenne, but I don't know if anyone likes heat. I'm going to put some garlic powder and chili powder. And like I said, I don't measure, but it's probably a tablespoon of each. It's a generous sprinkle. And same with this. This is a new one. I just bought it. Oh. All right. Same with this. Pretty good.
Is that cayenne or?
I hope not. It's chili. Yeah. Chili powder.
Do you use elote or however you say that?
A little what?
Elote or however you say it? Do you ever use that? How do you
Elote,
say it?
elote seasoning?
Elote.
Is that how you say it? Yeah. When
Yeah.
we went to Arizona, I got
They have it. They sell it as a seasoning packet.
a jar.
A jar. Yeah. It's honestly. I mean, I don't know how much they're selling it for, but if it's worth it to you or not. Excuse me. It's probably just cumin and like chili powders, salt, pepper. Yeah. So I have it all in there. The butter's melted, and I just kind of you bloom the spices in there. This point you can cut the heat, and I forgot the salt and pepper, so just a little bit of salt, and because this has traditionally it has a different kind of cheese. I called it for feta in here, but the real cheese that they use is called cotija. I chose feta because sometimes it's difficult to find in the grocery store, the cotija cheese, but it's very similar. So that's what that is.
Does it come like, feta cheese would, like?
It comes in a circle, yeah.
Wrap, shrink wrap.
Yep.
Okay. What do you do, just chop it up?
Yep.
I guess like that.
Yep. That's fairly similar. All right. And what?
What's the difference in taste?
I think they're very similar. That kind of like punchy, salty, tangy
I was
taste.
gonna say, the, is it cotija?
Cotija, yeah.
It's saltier.
Yeah. All right.
And you said it comes in a circle. Is it a ball or a circle?
No.
Like a disc, like a hockey puck.
Oh, okay.
But it's like wrapped in.
Yeah. All right. So I have glass bowls in my house, so I usually just dump it right in the glass, and I mix the cheese in so it kind of melts a little bit. And I might wait a little while, but we can get started on the sort of dressing, which is really easy. I think it's just a 1-to-1 mayo and sour cream, and it's 2 tablespoons. So
That's mayo.
this was mayo, and that's sour cream. Yep. You could use non-fat, I use whole-fat Greek yogurt, plain, not like vanilla. That might be a little funky. Yeah.
But earlier you said you could use the fat-free.
Did I?
Yes.
You could try it.
What did you mean?
Whole fat.
Oh.
I probably did. Yeah.
They don't seem that different.
They're not, yeah. So I'm gonna start with those two, and then I'm gonna squeeze in half a lime here. And now we'll do some of our onion here. And just kind of quick mix it, just to get it all incorporated.
Onion's not on here, but how much onion did you use?
I used a quarter. I think I went back and forth on it before I printed it. So it's not needed per se. Okay. This corn can go right in there. I know. And then our feta. So the feta was, I just said a quarter. It's probably a quarter cup.
Just eye it.
Yeah, exactly. I know, I should. Yeah. And forget I said that I was an English major as well, because I didn't spell check my thing before I printed it. All right, so This is fully incorporated here. You can see the nice, pretty color, and it kind of the smell. There's that. Then we'll add in the. Well, does anyone want to taste it before I put in? Okay. I didn't taste this yet, so it might need more salt or cilantro. Or it might need more lime. You know, everyone's taste is different, so you'll be our official taste tester before cilantro's gone.
Oh my God, it's
Okay. Do you think it needs anything?
so, no.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. So you can see with the cilantro, and you could sub in parsley if you wanted to, or green onion. But you can see even, yeah, you can see just a little bit of green kind of makes it like pop a little bit.
Wow, that is so good. And you serve it hot or cold?
You can serve it warm or you can serve it cold. So if you guys want to try it now, we can. Let me taste it.
It doesn't need salt.
Okay. Not bad.
Do you need what do you think it needs? He thinks it needs more lime.
Just a little hint of lime.
Yeah, okay.
I also-
Rose's lime juice.
Mhm.
Also.
Sorry, I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. I love salt, so I tend to over salt things. So, let's see. I have a spoon.
But I will taste it again.
Okay. So I had some water boiling while I was cooking for our next trick. And I'm going to salt the water because it is pasta. A couple little shakes in there.
Why do you have to salt your pasta?
It seasons the pasta before you cook it.
We've stopped doing that because we're really
You try to be
cut back on
salt. Yeah, I know. Really? Yeah.
And then I watch cooking shows and all they ever say is it doesn't have enough seasoning.
I think
Salt. It's driving me crazy.
I think honestly, a lot of cooking shows oversalt. They're trying to make a statement and they oversalt. Gonna grab our bowl here. And I like to cut so we're gonna use about a quarter here for this, and we have a whole box of pasta. I make this for parties, and it's enough, for small portions for people for, medium-sized party. So there'll probably be leftovers.
Oops, your chair. Oh, there we go.
Put tahini on it.
Oh, I have done that. Yeah, it is really good.
I have that sort of in Arizona, but I hate it. I have it, but I don't.
And there's like citric acid in it too, so it's kind of like limey.
I like to put a really good balsamic vinegar that's kind of sweet. I like to put that on watermelon cheese. Costco makes a really good balsamic. Costco.
And then it's not
I
like.
cannot hear. I don't know what's going on. Balsamic glaze is awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's wonderful, like on watermelon.
Really?
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I just use the balsamic because what we have is thick and sweet.
So I'm just cutting this into sort of
And
dice
we may have
size
pasta
chunks.
when they finally finish over by the mouth.
And usually, this one didn't look too bad, but I'll pick out any gross looking parts here. Use this as a spoon. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been having hamburger chef forever.
I love their product.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, you know what,
Okay.
they have an indoor outdoor grill that you could use, Pampered Chef does.
I just took like a handful of basil.
I love to do it.
that what you call a chiffonade?
Yeah, or julienne, chiffonade. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Now that's basil.
Sliced thin. Yeah, basil, and I'm just gonna cut it kind of smaller. And that's a good handful of it. Sometimes I'll do a little more. That's probably almost done. Me too. It's really fragrant.
Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah.
And there's different types.
Yeah, there's Thai basil, Italian basil. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but
There's chocolate, no, I don't think there's chocolate.
lemon basil.
Alright, I'm gonna dump some of this out here. Alright, let's see here. Alright. That's alright. So that orzo's done. And the real key with this orzo, you want to get this strained and then run cold water on it immediately. You want to try to halt the cooking process so it doesn't overcook, which is very easy to do. Mm-hmm. I might have, honestly. I didn't start the timer on time. Yeah, yep. Usually I don't rinse my pasta because, like you said, the starch, it helps the sauce cling. But we're using oil and just salt and pepper, so it's usually okay.
Sprinkle stuff.
Oh, I don't think it's messy.
That's why I like it.
So
Oh, I like corn on the cob, but I don't want all the stuff.
Oh, the stuff is so good.
I'm gonna hit this with some olive oil so it doesn't all stick together. Enough to coat it. And some salt and pepper.
Orzo salad, salt and pepper, olive oil.
Like I said to you guys before, I am a salt fanatic, so I always put too much in, but the feta's usually salty too, so you don't want it to go too crazy. Good amount of fresh cracked pep. And then I forget how much.
Cup and a half to 2.
All right. Which usually ends up being the whole container.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
It's so close.
And, yep, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you used a little before.
Yeah, I did. You're okay.
You're getting to the good part now.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna,
And that's the
Oh, your base.
the basil. All right.
Down to the sticks. Usually critters don't like
It
these.
ate a lot of my veggies and my herbs. Whatever it is. I think it's these little
All
people.
right. So then we'll mix it and we'll see if we need
That may
anything.
frustrate.
Sometimes you need more basil or, like I said, this will sit in the fridge fine for a couple days. Like it would be really good tomorrow. Sometimes that the watermelon, like the water seeps out a little bit and kind of colors the pasta a little bit more. I probably could have used a bowl that's 2 times the size of this one, so let's do that.
That happens to me all the time.
Yep.
Underestimated.
Yep.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Do you have to do all your own cleanup too?
You do, yeah.
You do?
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
part of the.
Well,
all
the
part
cooking
of
shows,
it.
I'm sure somebody's cleaning up.
Yeah.
On Rachel or somebody takes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of what I
So
want at home, someone to clean up with.
at this point, you can see
So pretty.
it's really pretty.
Yeah,
You got,
that's a
you know,
summer
reds and
Oh, that is pretty.
and greens and a feta.
Too bad they don't have white orzo.
I know. So I just want to taste it. I could probably do with some more basil in there.
And then you serve that one cold?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the time.
That the early morning.
Oh, go sometimes.
It's getting hot in here.
I mean, it's all I can do to, I mean, no, they're very sweet, but it's just, it's
Yeah, of
very,
course.
it's labor intensive, I would say.
It's very labor intensive.
Is Jenna get back to you? She's done? Yeah, she's fine. Wednesday. Yep. She's coming Wednesday. No, I didn't. I didn't. I said I was cleaning closets and then. No, my linen closet was such a mess. And I was like, okay, this has gotta be fixed, because I couldn't do it. I had 2 watermelons the other day. Terrible. You know, I had one that terrible. I didn't think it was that old and it went
I don't know if you want like any, but there you go.
Yeah, this will come roast.
Okay.
It looks very pretty. I was like,
Oh,
Guys.
I love this. Yeah, I do too. I love the texture of the orzo.
this is great. Too bad you don't have anybody photographing your food and
Yeah.
posting it on social media for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would make that.
So that's basically it. That's yeah, just kind of some fresh alternatives to your barbecues there, and we did, yeah. Not to pat myself on the back, but yeah. And yeah, like we said, you can change up a lot of different things with different fresh ingredients. So I think, yeah, it's pretty good.